Hi, and welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Let's Talk Retail. My name is Duffy Fron. I'm a sales leader here at Toshiba Global Commerce Solutions. And today we're going to talk about how retailers can thrive in these changing times. Whether you're a fan of Dylan or Darwin, we all understand that times are changing and that it's not necessarily the fastest, the swiftest, or the strongest that survive, but the one that's most adaptable to change. Shifting buyer behavior emphasizes the need for retailers to adapt to these changes and understand the new ways in which consumers gather information and make purchasing decisions. So what kind of change are we talking about? The first one we're going to talk about is the demographic shift. And this has been happening around the world, was accelerated by COVID. And what we saw was the older generation retiring and a younger generation coming on into not only the workforce, but also the consumer force. And what that did was change the definition of customer experience and change the expectations around employee experience. And in both of those cases, creating a great customer experience and creating a great employee experience, those can be augmented by the use of technology. Another change we're talking about is increased price and cost sensitivity among today's consumers. Inflation hasn't helped this, but today's consumers are more price sensitive than ever before. This requires retailers to offer value that justifies their pricing strategies. Another way to work with or to combat against increasing price sensitivity is by having a well-run loyalty program. Loyalty programs can influence buyer behavior, even override price sensitivity. So when thinking about your retail strategy, think about your loyalty program and see if it can be optimized to provide the best customer experience possible. So another change we're talking about is the rise of social media. We all know that social media is here to stay, and we love it. We use it every day, but social media has been used for a while to influence buyers' decisions, and retailers that leverage social media can more effectively reach and engage their target audience. So a couple things that you could take away from this are, one, we know that people are using social media to find out more about products, to read recommendations and reviews, and make purchasing decisions. So retailers out there can leverage social media to inform and engage their audience. And the second thing is we saw this recently and we've seen this kind of grow and morph, but there's been the rise of the review and recommendation economy. 5 stars, verified reviewers, and everything like that. So if you have a business or a service or something like that, it behooves you to pay attention to those online reviews and those recommendations and make sure you're curating that content, you're answering people out there and everything like that. So in conclusion, retailers can leverage social media to more effectively create the experience that they want for their customers and provide the information that those customers need to make confident buying decisions. Another change that's important to note is the changing and shortening of attention spans. Squirrel. Today's consumer is used to getting a rapid amount of information in a short amount of time. What that means to retailers is you've got less and less time to get the value equation across to your consumers before their attention is caught by something else, right? Your competitors click away on a web page, there's another store next to yours in the mall. So again, you have less and less time to convey that value and capture the attention of your audience. Another change we see is the changing buying behavior and customer tastes. So customers' tastes change over time, and that influences and changes their buying behavior, which makes it more important than ever to listen to your customers. Voice of customer is more important as shoppers make purchase decisions for different reasons they have in the past, and sometimes for random reasons. If you're not listening to your customer, if you're not testing out things with your customers, you can miss out on an opportunity. Let's talk about car purchasing. A recent survey indicated that 75% of people purchasing cars looked for one feature that wasn't created by automobile manufacturers. Can you guess what it is? It's Apple CarPlay. All right, so think about that. The way you listen to music, consume entertainment, get guided to where you're going, your destination, preference that you have based on your proclivity to use one phone or another is now influencing a purchase decision of a large automobile. It's amazing, one feature. All right, so the message here is that you want to make sure that you're including the voice of the customer in your future product and promotional plans. To recap this video on how retailers can thrive in changing times, first, we saw a change in consumer and employee demographics, and we know that technology can help us increase both the customer and the employee experience. Second, we talked about how increased cost sensitivity and changes in buyer behavior require retailers to add more value into the equation and conversation. Then we talked about the rising importance of social media, not only in buyer decision making and information capturing, but also in getting that oh so important customer feedback. Then we talked about shortening attention spans and how it's more important than ever to capture that customer's attention quickly. And finally, voice of customer has never been more important, as it allows retailers to adapt to changing customer tastes and changing buyer behavior. Thanks for listening. I'm Duffy Fron, and this has been Let's Talk Retail.